Good morning, everybody. So, as you can tell, I'm filming this from our property on Harts Point. I wanted to do it out here. I wanted to record this sermon because it's different. I wanted to do something different than what we've been doing, and do something certainly different than what we used to out at the church. This morning, I get to preach on one of my absolute favorite passages from the Bible, which is that story where Paul's in the marketplace, and while he's in the marketplace in Greece, he sees that they have all their gods, all their idols lined up around them. And he does something completely unexpected. He says to them, he doesn't yell at them for having other gods. He doesn't freak out that they believe other things. What he does is he tells them how much he admires them. I see you are all religious, deeply devout religious people. And you have every god you can imagine here. You even have the unknown God. Now, I want to tell you, Paul says, I want to tell you about this unknown God and all that he is and all that he is like. And he goes on to proclaim who God is in this really beautiful, wonderful way. That is incredibly respectful of where these people are and incredibly honoring of where these people are. He doesn't dismiss them. He doesn't knock them down. He doesn't call them stupid or ignorant. He doesn't say they're misguided. He simply says, I admire you for your faith. You have a wonderful, deep faith. I want to show you more. I want to show you more of your faith, and he does. Now, in this passage, he says a lot of really nice things, really great things that we should touch on. But today, the thing that I want to touch on most is that idea of how he's approaching these people where they are. You see, for years and years and years, we would look at this and we'd say, oh yeah, so he's talking about other gods. So he's talking about, maybe he's talking about Islam. Maybe he's talking about Buddhism. Maybe he's talking about, whatever other religion, it could be an interdenominational thing. He's talking about Baptists. He's talking about Anglicans. He's talking about Catholics. But today, because of this coronavirus, we're in this really interesting place. We're in this and I know you guys are going to get sick of me saying this, but we're in this really exciting place. I'm excited by it because the church has been forced out of its building, right? We've been absolutely forced out of our building. We can't have our Sunday worship the way we've always had our Sunday worship. And that's hard for us to deal with, but it also forces us into a new mission field. And in this new mission field, we're encountering new people. We're encountering people that we're encountering a completely new culture, perhaps a new society. This culture, they believe that they can connect to each other on Facebook or on Instagram or on Snapchat or TikTok or anything else. They believe that social media is the way that they connect to each other. They're able to say what they feel and what they want whenever they want it and whenever they feel it. They have a way about them that is different than the way our church normally functions. They operate as a community differently than we operate as a community. Where in the church, as a community, we get together. They don't feel the need to get together because they can simply scroll through a list on their social media site and they can see everything that everybody they care about is doing. Right? They're never left in the dark. They never feel like they're being left out of a situation. They don't feel like nobody's telling them something. Anytime they want to learn something, they can just scroll through Facebook and they can learn it. They don't feel like they have to get together. Now, this is, as I say, this is completely different from us. And what I'm hearing right now in church world is very much that idea, we must gather. And even though we're doing things online, it's not enough. And gathering's all that's important. And listen, gathering is wildly important, right? Gathering is wildly important. Gathering is where we celebrate communion. Gathering is where we hear each other's voices as we're speaking. We get to see we get to hear tones and inflection. We get to see, responses in people's faces. Gathering socially is wildly important. It can't be replaced, but it's not going to do us any good as a church. It is not going to do us any good that as we go forward right now in this online world, if all we do is wag our finger at people and saying, this isn't enough, church, this isn't enough gathering, this isn't how you're supposed to be community. If we do that, our voices will be ignored. We're in their world. Just like Paul was in Greece. That wasn't his world. But like Paul was in Greece, we are in their world. Like Paul, who stood up and respected the faith of the people that he was speaking to, we need to respect the way this society, this culture that we've encountered, the way they speak to each other, the way they operate with each other. And if we do that, like Paul, we'll be in a position where we can share the gospel in their way. Remember, Paul didn't knock them over the head and say, yeah, you're doing this all wrong. There's this Jesus guy, and Jesus tells us how to do it right, and that's the only thing that really matters. So whatever you're doing, you just need to stop right now. It's not what Paul did. And he certainly didn't do it in a bad 80s accent. Paul respected them by showing them how Jesus and how God fit into what they already believed. And then he showed them that this unknown God that they were worshiping already was actually much more powerful than all the other gods, and he did it through their context. In this online world we're encountering, there are gods out there. These people operate in a particular way. They worship particular things. They see value in particular methodologies and processes and systems. It would behoove us, it would do us a lot of good to recognize that and to find out how Jesus fits into those processes and systems. Find out how Jesus fits into that value stream. Find out how Jesus fits into that way. And find out how Jesus fits into their belief system. Because if we can do that, then like Paul, we'll also make a family of believers in this new place. Amen. Amen. Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today for this sermon. As you can tell, this is my day off, and this sermon actually came from last Sunday's service. So you can join us for services every Sunday morning. They'll be posted on YouTube, promoted through Facebook and through our webpage. You can find us on Facebook at Christchurch Shelburne News and Happenings, or you can find us on our webpage at www.christchurchshelburne.ca. We also will be posting daily reflections every day, Monday through Friday, and on Saturday I'll be posting last week's sermon for those that weren't able to see it the Sunday before. Anyway, I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of my day. I hope you have a great day as well. God bless you. God keep you. God always make his face shine upon you. And I pray that you'll know the peace of God's presence in your life. Amen.